Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Today we are going to be talking about all things having to do with soul contracts. I'm going to explain to you what a soul contract is, why we have soul contracts, and how you can actually alter your soul contract if you wish to do so. So if you'd like to learn more about this topic, stick with us today. We're going to have a really interesting conversation. You've heard me talk about soul contracts in the past, but maybe you don't exactly understand what those are. I talk frequently about how when we plan to incarnate on Earth, we come here with a blueprint for our lives, that certain things are already predestined for us. But what I would like to expand upon is that before we even come here, before we choose to take a body and come to Earth to experience things, to learn and to grow, we create a soul contract. A soul contract is a non-physical agreement made on the soul level of your consciousness. You create these contracts most often between your soul family and your soul group. So before we even come to Earth, we already travel in soul families and soul groups. So many people who are in your life now, you've incarnated with them before if you believe in past lives. We come here, we create these soul contracts before we incarnate in the body. And we have these contracts, which are binding agreements between one or more souls. It's basically an exchange of energy. We agree to come here and fulfill different roles and different functions. So you may agree to come here and be the mother of your child, and you agree to experience scripted episodes of drama. These roles are not always positive because they're designed to create challenges, because challenges are what help us grow on the soul level. So if some of you wondered, why was I born into this family where there's all this dysfunction and where there's so much toxicity? You actually agreed to do this. You and your family members created these soul contracts because coming here and experiencing the toxicity and the drama, that is what is helping your soul to learn and to grow. We learn things that we don't want to experience, and we learn things that we do want to experience. The whole point of the agreement is that it's going to provide you with a lesson that you can integrate into your soul and take forward with you. We do have more than just one soul contract when we come into our lives, when we incarnate. Sometimes these soul contracts are new, and sometimes they're leftovers from past lives we didn't complete, either because the circumstances weren't right for us to be able to experience what we needed to experience, or because we didn't have the ability to finish what we needed to finish in that lifetime. One of the primary goals is for you to have personal accountability. So the goal of having contracts with other souls is that you said, I'm going to come here and I'm going to experience unconditional love. It's to keep you on that path, to help you learn that lesson. And it's to encourage you in your personal progress. Again, I kind of like to compare it to taking a college course where you're signing up for all of these things. Or if you didn't go to college, think of high school. You decided you were going to take this class, that it was going to teach you a lot, you're going to learn a lot, it was going to be fun, it was going to be exciting. Because when we're on the other side, we don't have the heaviness that we have here on Earth. Things are much lighter. You look at things from a different perspective. So we don't remember how difficult it can be to be here on Earth. So we choose all of these things that are going to bring us these wonderful and amazing lessons, and we're going to learn so much. And we get here and we experience how incredibly painful those lessons can be and how difficult they are. And we decide, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Just like when you get in that college class, you have some options. You can either continue to stick it out and try to learn the lesson as best you can. And this is what I like to compare when I tell my daughter, C's earned degrees, like get through it. Try to learn as much as you can, but get through it. Or we can actually change our soul contracts. And we had a guest on a few days ago who talked about that. You can amend your soul contract. If you feel like you've learned as much as you want to learn in this lifetime, or you feel like you've learned the lesson, you can ask to amend that contract. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. So what are soul contracts? What do they include? You can really include almost anything in the soul contract, but these are agreements that are going to influence the outcome of your life in a major way. And they can exist, like they can be little things that impact your life or really big things that are vital to the role of your life. So you could fulfill family functions. And that's, again, like having that contract maybe with a difficult sibling or with a parent. And it doesn't have to be difficult either. You can have a soul contract with someone who's your best friend and they end up teaching you so much about life. So you can also have soul contracts with friends. You can have soul contracts where you just meet someone and they pass a lot of important knowledge on to you. So it could be as a role as a mentor or a teacher. You could have little subtle energy exchanges where maybe you meet someone and they kind of just pass through your life, but they make an impact on you. You can also meet people who heal you. So people who provide healing in your life. And yes, we do have free will, and the soul contracts are binding. And you entered them, though, willingly. You entered them when you were on the other side before you even decided to come here. You were not forced to make any contract with anyone. So even though we get here and we're like, why I was forced to go through these experiences, you were not. You willingly agreed to them. And again, the reason we do that is because when we're on the other side, we don't remember how difficult this is here. The agreements that you make is a co-creation between you and someone else. And it can be one soul, more than one soul. Because again, we tend to travel in soul families and soul groups. So you might have made a soul contract with an entire family that we're going to come here, we're going to learn how to, heal by going through all of these toxic things. And when you start the ball rolling and you get here, then we start creating karmic obligations. So if you have a soul group member and there's a role that has to be fulfilled and it creates drama between you, you have to resolve the drama in order to complete the contract. But you can do this in whatever time frame you choose. So this could be maybe that, I know personally, I've seen this in my own family where people don't get along, there's drama, and they don't speak for years. And then all of a sudden they get back together and they make it up. So they're actually fulfilling their contract, but it might have taken them an entire lifetime to do so. And that's okay. That's where our free will comes in. We have the free will to figure out how long it's going to take us to learn the lesson or what we're going to do to learn it. So the speed at which it's done that's up to you. That's your own free will. You can choose to take a long time to learn it, and you can choose to learn it quickly and move on to the next thing. So even though the law of karma says that we have to fulfill the agreement, you have free will in how that agreement is going to play out. So this leads us to the next thing, which is, okay, let's say that I've picked this thing now, and I'm not enjoying this lesson at all, and I feel like I'm learning it over and over and over again, and I've had to keep going through it over and over and over again. The soul contract was made before you entered here. And even though it is a binding contract, you can rewrite it or amend your soul contract once you're here. Your spirit guide asked you to choose from all of these different life lessons that you wanted to learn in your next life. They would be lessons that maybe you were unable to master in a previous life, or lessons that you decide you want to learn now that maybe you haven't encountered before. If you feel like you keep encountering the same types of patterns of problems over and over and over, no matter what you can do, then it could be that this is part of your attempt to fulfill this soul contract. So sometimes you can visit someone who works with soul contracts for a living. There are different types of mediums out there. There are some that they can look at your soul contract and tell you, this was your life lesson. This is why you came here. You chose to learn this when you decided to incarnate on Earth. So consulting a psychic can be helpful and beneficial if you're trying to really look at, what was my soul contract? What did I agree to come here to do? For most of us, we can figure that out on our own. Like if you know what you've been experiencing your whole life, you can figure out the patterns, right? What do I keep repeating over and over and over again? What am I trying to learn? The beauty of your contract is that you can amend it. It can be rewritten if you decide when you're here, hey, I've learned enough about this. I don't need to learn any more about it. I'd like to learn something else. You can then create a new lesson for your life rather than trying to continue to learn the thing you feel like you've already learned. And I have an example for you. I feel like one of the things that I chose to try to learn is patience. And then I learned to stop asking for the universe to teach me patience because things kept happening that were like driving me insane. It's like, okay, you know what? I have learned enough about patience. I get it. I got it. I have to be more patient. And I realize that when the things arise that cause me to need to have more patience, I can do that now. I don't need to learn any more about that. Like patience, I get it. Let's move on to something else. So you can choose to change the components of your soul contract. You know, when you chose the lessons you wanted to learn, you didn't really know how long it would take you to learn what you needed to learn. So you may have fulfilled that contract a long time ago, and now you just keep getting the same things hitting you, and you feel frustrated because you're like, I already learned this. I don't need to continue to learn this. I don't have to keep taking this again. And I would compare this to like when you go to college, they make you take general ed studies. You know, you have to take these classes because they want you to be a well-rounded person, but you end up doubling up on classes you've already had. Like you have to take history and you already took it in high school, but you have to continue to take these classes. And you're like, I have learned this already. I know it. I get it. I don't need to learn it again. So the good news is, unfortunately, in college, you still have to take the general studies that they make you take. But the good news is you can amend your contract and say, okay, I've learned all that I need to learn about this topic, and I would like to change that. Because some of us learn things like we choose heartbreak. We want to experience heartbreak, and how do you get through grief, and how do you get through trauma? And maybe you continuously have things that happen in your life that cause you grief, or cause you trauma. Maybe you say to yourself, you know what? I've learned all I want to learn about this right now. I don't need to continue on this path because I've learned a lot about grief and I've learned a lot about trauma and heartbreak. I don't want to learn any more about it. I've already fulfilled this. You can go, and a lot of people say you have to go to a trained psychic to rewrite your soul contract so that you can break these frustrating patterns. I personally think that you can probably do this without having to visit a psychic, but if it makes you feel better to have an experienced professional with you, you can definitely do that. But I think you can talk directly to your spirit guides because these are the people that you actually created this contract with. Your spirit guides are here to keep you on the path. And I think you can talk to your spirit guides and say, okay, I've learned this lesson. I've experienced heartbreak numerous times. I'm learning how to deal with it. I'd like to learn something else. But you can change and renew and revise what you're here to learn in this world. So again, if you, before you came to Earth, opted to learn about patience because you experienced certain problems in your past life with being patient, as you progress through this new life, your patience gets tested again and again and again, because that was the path you chose. You may not have expected to experience or master patience until you were really, really old, but perhaps you learned it a lot sooner. But you set this as your life goal, and when you've accomplished it very early on, you don't want to spend the rest of your life having to deal with patience and things that cause you to learn patience. So since you have now mastered this lesson, you want to break this pattern because you don't need to keep experiencing things that cause you to deal with things where you have to learn patience. So you can go to a psychic and you can consult with them and you can rewrite your contract and choose other more valuable lessons. Same thing if you, for example, chose to experience heartbreak, because perhaps maybe in a past life you were always the one breaking other people's hearts. So now you want to learn what it was like from that perspective to be the one whose heart gets broken. And it keeps happening over and over in life. And you just think to yourself, I don't want to keep doing this. I've had more than I can bear with dealing with heartbreak in life. You can, again, rewrite this contract and say, okay, I've learned as much as I want to learn about this, and now I'm ready to move on to something else. So even though we do make these soul contracts, we can amend them. If you feel like you've been stuck in patterns of behavior and you've learned the lessons already and you'd like to move on to something else, then you can change or amend your soul contract. Again, all of the things that I have read have suggested that you consult psychics who really deal in this. And in order to find the ones who deal with soul contracts, that's what you need to look up, psychics who deal in soul contracts. And always read reviews about people. Always you should vet people that you are working with. And that is whether you're having a plumber come in to do work or you're working with a psychic. You need to do your vetting, review people, because there are a lot of really big scam artists out there. And you don't want to work with people who really are not legit and don't have your best interest at heart and are just out there to make money off of people who are sad or just feel unhappy in life, because there are people who prey on people like that. So always do your research and find the best person for you. And again, I think that you could even try yourself talking to your spirit guides and asking them to help you revise your soul contract because you want to learn something new. All right, so that is really just skimming the surface of what a soul contract is and how we can amend it or why we have them. There are a lot of really good articles about soul contracts. You can just look for them yourselves. People have written books about them. I've always been fascinated by the soul contract. All right, I wanted to pull a couple of cards for you today, and so I pulled a few cards from the Ask Your Guides deck by Sonia Choquette. And the first one that came out for the collective today is Psychic Awareness, and it's Divine Soul. It's about clairsentience, clairvoyance, reception, telepathy. Your divine soul is awakening, and with it, your psychic abilities are coming alive. More evolved and specific than basic intuition, your psychic abilities are giving you access to the fourth dimension and are coming into contact with incarnate, enlightened helpers who can assist and guide you in beautiful ways. You may start accessing divine music or tap into new healing energies. You also may receive telepathic messages and have clairvoyant visions. Heed your newly awakened psychic faculties and don't doubt the specific and profound transmissions flowing to you. Record your dreams, believe in your abilities, and accept the symbols and signals being relayed to you from the psychic realm. Trust your vibes and embrace your psychic channels fully. What they're communicating is essential to fulfilling your purpose. Ask your divine soul to lead you. Its message, embrace and trust what you receive. And then the second card that came out is Creativity and Creativity Guides. Patience, practice, reevaluation, assessment. Your creativity guides are advising you that there's no way to avoid risk if you wish to live a creative life. Stop worrying about making right and wrong choices and view all of them as creative opportunities. Be glad you have the freedom to make choices at all and realize that no matter what you choose, you'll create something. If you don't like the result, then simply go back to the drawing board and make new and hopefully better choices. Your creativity guides remind you not to look at life in terms of black and white, me against you, or all or nothing. You're a creative spirit regardless of what else is going on in your life. Assess your creations with appreciation and respect. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, they all reflect your creativity. Celebrate everything you enjoy and don't fret over the rest. See your less desirable creations as interesting rough drafts and follow your creativity guide's advice. Go back to the drawing board. I love that. And they sort of go hand in hand with what we were talking about, in that you can go back to the drawing board when it comes to your soul contract, and you can renegotiate, and you can change the patterns of your life by changing the lessons you're choosing to learn, and be aware of whatever signs come to you and whatever hunches you get, because your psychic abilities are opening up. Everyone has them. We're all born with them. We just have to nurture them. A lot of times we were told that, oh, you're just seeing things, you're just hearing things. So we put up a wall around our abilities, but you can get them back with practice. So work on paying closer attention to the hunches you're receiving, to the dreams you get, and to the signs and signals that are being sent to you. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here with me. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. You can join me over on Patreon, where if you want to have 2 extra episodes per week, you can. You also will see the video recordings when I have guests. Instead of just the audio, I post the video there on Patreon. And I also do readings for people. So join me over there. I would love to have you. If you want to work with me, you can go to melissaoatman.com. There you'll see all the services I offer, and you can purchase a service directly from the website and then contact me to schedule it either through Facebook, Instagram, or my email. All of my information is in the show notes. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day today from wherever you're listening. As always, I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.